Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, we're about to go ahead and get into this a little bit. Holy crap, the election is just chaos. And I'm getting so many doggone messages of what's going on and everything. And I'm like, look, I only care about money at this point. I don't, none of this matters right now. Let's get to the charts because right now, the market went crazy. That's the best way to say it. If we look at NQ right now, we had a nice low level here, and I was kind of explaining this to somebody. I was like, look at what we did here. You gotta remember the market has memory. They look at what, so someone, something, some conglomerate, whatever it is, they kept buying a dip right in this area here, and we held these positions right here. That was the first thing that caught my attention. So when we came down here, it wasn't, I'm not saying that it's got to be exact, but it was similar to right here. And I said, there's my angle, there's my bumps, there's my levels that we supposed to be breaking through. And if we was going to fall, we should have just fell right through this level, tested this area, and then maybe come into this gap. That did not happen. None of those things happened. So I was like, I think they're just waiting for when the election's over to go and invest whatever they need to invest into. I'm gonna go to a couple of ideas later on, but you could see these 3 wicks again. Looks like these 3 wicks, and then this right here is the fourth. But anyways, I know I was really concerned about this one here. Look at this explosion right back into the order block. Remember, we had this whole entire liquidation sweep here because I was actually caught in the wash of this. This was that whole entire, hey, you know what? We're almost to the top of the order block, and I'll see if I can rewind that later on this week. Here's the order block, and this order block is exactly where we need to be. And since we're over here, that means there's some level above this area that they're going to test. So this was a very massive liquidation sweep, and I would not be surprised that we get to 21,000. All that I just said was just to wrap it up to that. Anyways, let's go ahead and speed this up. We got ourselves oil. Look at what's happening in oil. I don't know, with the effect of the election, how does it affect oil? I don't care. But I can tell you this chart is telling me that right now they're trying to find a way to get out of the bottom of this order block and push down a little bit south. So if you want to go ahead and play oil, I would say remember my weekly. I kind of blocked out this whole entire area, treating it like an order block. It's going to be tough for them to get through this area. But if this trend line holds the way that it's holding right now, we're probably going to go ahead and get up to that level, which is up here around that $87 a barrel. That's that. If you're in Florida, it's like you're maybe from $3 is where we are right now to maybe closer to $4 a barrel. That's around this area. So if you're concerned about that and the chart's showing yourself and you want them to sell that, that's what you need to worry about for all those that worry about fuel. Anyway, moving on. Gold. So now that the presidential election is over, the dollar is. I'm speeding up. Let me be quiet. Right. All right. So now 2,800. We got a nice low rejection. This thing looks like a evening star. If you don't know what an evening star is, it has a tendency on being a reversal point, and we start to make some massive moves to the downside. And if you look how the weekly looks, it looks like that's going to be where we continued on. If we go to the daily, this is where that chop. They were trying to get back into that 2,800. First area of sell, second area of sell. Coming back to the 50 EMA, could this be a test so they can bounce it? I don't know, because this weekly looks like it's pointing straight down. If we close strong to the downside, maybe under 2,600, I would not be surprised if we get another extension of red coming back to the 50 on the weekly, which we in gold probably drop like 500 points. All right, the next one is silver. Again, I don't trade silver. I know some people that do, but I like to chart silver. This was the warning shot here. When we got up into this area and we didn't break this trend line, very similar to how it was in gold, is what I was looking for. And you can kind of see we're on this downward trend, and I want to see what the market's going to do with that. Let me go ahead and place that there to give you some visualization. That's that. And then there's that bad boy right here. kind of something like that. So we got 7 hours to see if this solidifies. We're under the 50 EMA. Does silver get back into its order block, come down to 29? That will drag gold down. All right, so let's keep this going. We got ourselves the British pound, and this thing is starting to look like a very ugly head and shoulders now after we did a massive rejection here. Now, this is a candle after the election, right? So this is what's kind of making me ask a couple questions. Are they saying that now it's time to get out of all these other commodities and start running back to the US dollar because of the strength off of what the results of the election? Is that what they're painting here? So this is going to be very interesting to watch as we get closer to this. All right, let's go ahead and keep this going. ES, this thing is making a massive move to the upside just like NQ. I think they're going to try to get to that $6,000. Now, small caveat, I want to go ahead and give a small disclosure. I had the $6,100 calls on ES, and I was just doing something just to kind of toy with. I wasn't even like taking it serious. So I got like 2 contracts, 15 cents a contract, and I will not be surprised that this thing is like printing something vicious right now on SPX. Just to kind of give y'all a little bit, we made a very volatile move to the upside, and I didn't expect it to get this close. We're probably going to get to that 6,000 because of this election, so we'll see what happens there. And then we got the Russell. This is the one that's going to survive. Okay, so remember, I kind of gave y'all this before, and this is why this video is I'm probably going to have to post this on Instagram and everything, and go back to some of my recaps to kind of make it make sense. I kept on explaining, like, they're going to take money from your larger caps and put it into the small caps. This is a lot of cash that just went into the Russell right now. A lot of cash. So they're starting to invest into small business. That means international money is going to be affected. I will not be surprised that your S&P SPX, which has international exposure, your NQ, which is the QQQs, they have international exposure, and they're like almost back to this whole make everything come back into domestic setups. So this one is something that you want to keep an eye on. And then the last one, the infamous dollar has strengthened up. I did say I was thinking it was going to go ahead and tap this zone, then go back up, but this is going to be a make or break. We're at my downward trend line, and they already rejected at that level right here. So I think there's going to be a sense of a pullback. So that pullback is probably going to make ES and NQ get to their levels, the 21,000. Sorry, ES and NQ, the 6,000 and the 21,000 respectively, and that's going to be that pullback. But the moment we touch that, it's going to rejuice the dollar, and I think it will get up into that 106 level, something that we have not seen since April, May-ish of 2024. So that's the one that really is making me very, very interested. I really wanted to get inside of this lower register before I made that bounce, so it's starting to feel a little unhealthy of a bounce, but at the end of the day, we take the charts that they give us. We do not make the charts, all right? So anyways, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up. If you have not been on my floor before, I do a very simple strategy. It's called the open range breakout. Nothing really spectacular, but all I'm looking for is the first 15 minutes of the market when it opens, and when it actually opens, we block out the first top, which is its high, and the low, so that way we can know what we're looking for. When it finally solidifies and locks in that 15-minute candle, we're looking for the first 5-minute candle that breaks out of either side, and we take that direction. Very nice, very simple. Other than that, we also play my market dominance strategy, which really, actually, going back to yesterday's market dominance. Let's get rid of this. Don't need that anymore. On yesterday, there was a nice little trigger that happened. All right, so massive move. And I was talking on the floor, and I was like, man, it should be a little bit of a pullback, and you couldn't see it. We did take a little bit, but it was not selling off like that. Then we kind of did a nice little recover, played it to the upside, and then we kind of sat back. We made our money and called it a day. But there was a couple other instances. Here's another one here. Again, we had this massive jump up, and then boom, we got this massive jump up, which basically took out all these sellers here. and this was about 12 points down with the close, but maximum from high to low, it was about 113 ticks or 27 points, which was not too bad. Depending on your structure and trailing with 5 minute or 30 minute or whatever the case may be, you probably could got as much as like 200 ticks on the pullback. And then we had this nice little explosion over here. So that first opening, when we finally closed off, we were done at 4 o'clock. I had called my wife because I was in the middle of the road. It was the first time my alert went off after it was all said and done. And when it was interesting about it is that I told her, I was like, hey, nice little pullbacks coming, but I think the most craziest thing when it was all said and done is that how can you get this opportunity knowing that there's some type of news that probably played. I think someone's earnings probably shot that whole entire market up, and when they shot it up, that's why we got that pullback, because it was all the profit taking there. There goes the bell. All right, so let's go ahead and get ourselves set up. And next 15 minutes. All right. Oh, I did not log into my E-Trade. I did say I was going to do that early. My Thinkorswim is already there. Get out of my way. Where are you? There it is. All right. Boom and boom. All right, perfect. Get that side to side. All right, got that set up, and while I'm waiting for this, let me go ahead and look at some of my other positions. Celsius is getting his butt whipped some more. I don't know what's going on with Celsius. I know their earnings is coming up very soon. Let me see. Was it today? God, I got so much time. Oh, yeah, that was their earnings. Huh. They didn't really lose money, but that's going to go ahead and make the market kind of react and probably really try to dump this down. But their revenues are staying consistent. So depending on how their guidance is telling us, it's probably going to continue to the upside or not. So yeah, so with Celsius, the way it's looking, they're probably going to go ahead and push this down. I only risk, let's see, I only risk like about 80 bucks, I think it was. Nothing too crazy. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll cross that bridge a little bit later. Another one that I was looking at was AMAT. I should have bought that more of AMAT. I didn't think of taking anything more until after the election, but I had these lines here. Actually, maybe I should do the weekly. I think the daily was fine. I think the daily is fine. Okay, so actually, I probably should tweak this like that and that. So what I was looking at AMAT, I was thinking along the lines of this was the trend that was happening when I first was looking at the trade for more upside. And then this is a trend that we started to kind of see what was going to end up happening with a bullish divergence. And I wanted to see if we are going to explode and start to get into these registered areas here. So it's going to be very interesting how the day progresses, if this thing actually recovers or not. So we'll see. We will see. So look at that NQ push. That should bring a lot of our stuff up, like our AMAT and everything else. There we go. We're going to go through that block. That was that infamous block. They're going to take it out. We're going to 21,000. The market's too happy with the election. Now they're okay with like whatever it is, and they could throw their money back into the market. Looking at that daily, look at that daily. Stoke is pointing up, even though it was drifting down, drifting down, drifting down. But there was no real impactful sell-off. Only way we're gonna get there, we gotta get above that 1227.88. I almost want to go ahead and take a position now. Let's do lightweight. Lightweight. I'm going to take, let's see, what's my 5-minute doing now? Yeah, I'm going to take a hilarious uh, $10. Nothing spectacular. This is just more like a feeler. Let's see how that goes. I went ahead and did something like a QQQ. So here's QQQ. We're above the 500 level, and we gapped up. We got to get past this 502. I think psychological 505 is probably the real target. That's what I kind of aimed at. We'll see how that goes. But it's just more like a feeler to see how the market's going to hold up. Does it smack down and come back and fill the gap? Possibly so, because it's been running all night. Ooh, look at what you just did. You just did a higher high right here. Ooh, let me see if I can scalp something. I know normally I don't. I had to open like this. Well, if this thing finds a support, let me come back over to NQ for y'all so y'all can see what I mean. Here is my 5-minute. And you can kind of see everything's like pointing straight up. That's what's making me a little curious on that. So probably a little bit of a pullback. Find a support maybe here, 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 or here. If it comes down to here, that'll be a little dangerous. That'll liquidate a lot of recent bulls. And those here are anticipating more bulls to come in. Oh, that's a little too shallow of a curl up. I don't like that one. I thought you were going to come a little bit lower before you did that. I can't chase the cat. Let me see. Why did you just bounce like that? Yeah, no, don't like that. Seems very frothy. Like I don't think I think it's just showing us these higher levels, but any one of these things can pull back on you. Kind of similar to like, I don't want to get caught in something like this. Nice heavy candle, then this big red candle came in and that dropped 20 points. If you don't know what that means, that's about 80 ticks. I'm not trying to get caught in something like that, but I do think we may touch 505 on the Qs today. I really do think that. We'll see. We'll see. 15 minutes. We got 7 minutes before this thing locks in. So let's go ahead and move this into place. So we'll be bullish above that line, at least for right now. It's not solidified. And bearish here. So we got 7 minutes until this is done. And then we can find out where we're going to be. That was a good rejection. Probably as low as they can get it because the buyers can't wait to buy this stuff. They don't care how high this stuff is. Like, chill. Let it reset a little bit. Yeah, this probably could be a good spot, but it's dangerous because they didn't really pull it back far enough. I'll probably get another push here. Look at that 15-minute candle. Strong. Nice curl up here. Just, it's one of those where you wish you was in it from last night. Oh, AMAT, what are you doing? AMAT is pulling back on me and it was just doing its job. What's going on, AMAT? What's happening with you? In the middle of no man's land. They don't know if they want to take this out or come back and fill this gap. They don't know what they want to do. That's what it looks like. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll come back to that. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, nice little push there. That little tiny little contract I took is up 25%. All right, so this is where I'm a little concerned. So this is the top of the order block, which will bring us into that 2,800 level. I can see that there's sellers waiting there, right? That's why I really want to wait for the opening range to kind of get us there. We got this 2792.50. So there could be some lingering orders waiting to kind of like smack this right back down. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more upside, dude. No matter how hard they try to smack it here, we're just drifting. What sucks is that like I was gonna do a scalp. I only gave like 60 ticks trying to get up into that area. There we go. Here comes the 2,800. Come on, get it there. You almost there. Just stop playing. Ah, I stop at 20. There we go. 2,800. Boom. There we go. It made this contract jump up to 30%. But again, I'm looking to hold this to the end of the day. All right, so you got to your target. Let's see what ES did. Did ES get to 6,000? Nah, no, not yet. Not yet. They gotta get past that 594. 5,954. Get up in there. Let's see what happens. So now that this kind of rejected, we're probably going to get ourselves a nice rejection point right here, roughly around that 2805 level. And that's the area that we're going to be looking for us to break out of, so that way we can take it to the upside. I know you're probably asking, like, why did he get a $10 contract? Well, at the end of the day, I'm cheap. I am cheap. Oh, and today I have an extremely hard stop at 10. Yeah. I'm speeding in my neighborhood. I have an extremely hard stop at 10:15. So I'll probably wrap it up right around 10:10 in itself. Got a couple of things I gotta do, especially a reservation. I gotta go ahead and wrap up too. So that said, we're probably not gonna be able to linger on as much as I would love to, because I think this day is gonna do some craziness. Well, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. All right, maybe we'll get ourselves a nice push back up to here. We got 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Okay, look at that. A little bit of a rejection there. We got 1 minute and 38 seconds as we try to close above the order block. Like I said, this contract, now that it showed me 30, now it's down 25, and to be honest, this thing can go down to zero. It won't affect me in any way. This is more of a I think we're gonna go ahead and finish to the top of the order block. I think we're gonna go to 21,000 before the end of the day, and for that to happen, especially with such a massive move that we had all night, there's got to be some sense of a pullback, and this could be the pullback that we're looking for. Oh, Tesla, I see you. Oh, that means I missed out on my opportunity to add a little more. Damn it. So this is Tesla, which is a variation of Tesla, and I was looking at this one, and it's nice little gap up here, and damn, that sucks. I had an opportunity to try to pick up some more around this 1186, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna wait for another thing of me saying I'm gonna wait for the election before I make any decisions, and this one kind of bit me in the butt too. So probably gonna have to wait for a pullback on that one. But yeah, this is another one that I'm very curious on. All right, MQ, you are almost done with your 15 minutes. Got 5 seconds. We've established our high. We've established our low. Our low is, to be accurate, 2670. 2670 on the dot. And then our high is 2805.25. Oh, did I get it right? No, I got 850. Boom. All right, so that is our established high and low. So what do we do next? We are going to wait for the 5 minute to break above or below this level. While we do that, let's go ahead and check out, is there any news out there in the space? All right, so we got oil inventories. That's going to be at around 10:30, so that's going to affect oil. Look like Canada got some stuff there. We got some speeches that's happening over in Europe. And then tomorrow is jobless claims and used cars. So yeah, so just all inventory today. So keep an eye on your ZOMs and everything over there, and we'll see what happens there. And we'll patiently wait. They're trying to get back down to the low. I think there's going to be an area somewhere around here that they're going to find some support. Let's see, is that bullish or bearish? All right, so we're really starting to get some profit taking that's happening here. That's hence the reason why I wasn't super confident on that $10, but I was looking for something specific to happen there. All right, you see that little bit of a bounce right there? That's what I was thinking. They were looking for something or some level to find to test if it's going to be support or not. Looks like that's there. Let's see what the 5 minutes. 5 minutes is curling over, but I think the 15 minute is the one that's really giving a lot of hell, because this thing is still kind of bullish, and I don't think they got into that upper register. Kind of like something like this is what they're looking for on the stochastic. It just depends on how the sellers step in here, but we'll see. Lots of profit taking happening. Lots of profit taking. That's about 400 ticks right there. That's why I said be careful. There might, and that's why I did such a small contract. There could be a lot of sellers just between here and 2100. This whole entire space is probably one big old bearish order block, especially with the dollar strengthening up the way it did. right, we're starting to get to the 5 minute. I wonder if they're gonna bait people to think it's gonna be bearish, but we got so much bullish momentum. Let me see what's going on with the other items out there. Let's see, we got, yeah, the dollar's still strengthening, so that's why we're getting this drop. British pound there. Gold is dropping like a lead weight. Now it's to the 50 on the daily, but does it get back all the way down into this area and then come to here? That's going to be very interesting. And then oil, they're waiting for their news. That's what oil's waiting for. All right, so that's interesting. Let's go ahead and come back to the 5 minute. All right, we stayed above our opening range. Now, do they bait them? Is this a bear trap and then the bulls spring the trap on them? All right, so we just made lower lows. Do we have enough strength to come all the way back down into the order block down here? Maybe. Maybe, especially now we got this MACD curling over. We got a couple fair value gaps that's here and here. I'm just patient right now. Remember, we need the 5 minute to break it and close. So there's nothing that we can do right now. We're still waiting, trying to make it make sense, but we got an established level that we're looking for us to break below and continue to the downside. That's what it looks like so far, unless this thing finds a way to reverse here. So just be patient, folks. Don't force the trade. That's how you can get in trouble. And this is why candle close is so important. Yeah, we probably could have rode the momentum, but you could kind of see it's creating this bottom type of action. They're still trying to see if they can hold it down. What is this? Alerts. Oh, this was all after the fact. End phase. I was doing a flush on that one. Maybe something crazy happened with. Actually, no. Let me go see what's going on with end phase. So end phase broke below this level because I actually played it to the upside and it looked like it's flushing to the downside. Yeah. This thing might continue down. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, they couldn't hold after earnings. It's very choppy. Yeah, prior to the game, that's going to happen. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go back over to NQ. I was curious of what's going on there. All right, here's NQ. We got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Patience, folks. Patience. If I were to short this using the Qs, I probably would go with like a 495 if this thing closed properly. So let's go ahead and save this order. We'll save that. Oh man, is AMAT still dropping like a lead weight? I think all of them are getting beat up right now. So AMAT is trying to decide if it was going to fill the gap. Fill the gap. All right, you're going to fill this fair value gap too? Or you're going to establish yourself? Nice little curl up here. Kind of bearish right here, especially with these top wicks. So this whole entire area could be with that. Or do they recover that? I'm going with recover, but we'll see what happens. Thank you. Look at that. Just grabbing all that liquidity. Be smart, folks. Be smart. 31 seconds, and they found a way to drag it right back under our level. Ooh, very, very tempting. 5 minutes in the bullish area though, so it is tempting to try to play. Ooh, just give me the confirmation because it's like 1 out of 7 and very critical number 7. Look at that. All right, so yeah, we are going to consider this a take it short, get a nice little retracement. I'm not a fan of it because this is bullish as soon as it loads, right? But they uncrossing it, and then this one is bullish and it crossed down. So that's the only reason I'm a little hesitant. But I'm just gonna look at my stoke and take a possible position to the downside. This thing actually does what I think it could. I don't think you went deep enough. You gotta get a little bit higher. Oh, some work just came in. Let me go check it out. Let's see, that's the 10th. Bear with me. Just gotta take care of something real quick. Nano International. Hmm. Only gonna be there. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Had to take care of some work. All right, back to this. Stochastic still doesn't look like it's to that top register for me to try to flip that. They could be basing this thing right now to try to see if they can push it right back through the block again. No, still not that one either. Hold on, let me see this. What would have been great was around 954. I think we're still inside of chop and accumulation. You don't want to get in the middle of a fist fight with children. Okay, okay. That could be what. That could be it. That could be it. I'm on the scale in because of the chop. Oh, whoa, that was not my. I got a bad price, but it was actually halfway decent. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get my option contract in with a good price. Yep, that was a bad price. That's why that pullback was a little violent and they hit my stop. Hold on. Patience, patience, patience. That's my problem. Very bull trappy. I mean, bear trappy feeling. Because it kind of turned this back. Yeah. That, yeah. So I was looking for this to kind of like continue a trend here, and it did not. And they bought that dip hard and then grabbed sell side liquidity. I think that's what's happening now. So I think they just sprung the bull trap on them. We might come back and get through this Hornty fair value gap here. they're back below the level. Need to close below if I'm going to take it serious for that. I just feel like it's still part of the bear trap. Yep, part of the bear trap. I think they're going to toy with this to that upside. $10 o'clock. Okay, so this could be a 10 o'clock transition now. Noticing that we cannot get bearish. Let's see if this continues to that upside here as we try to fill this fair value gap. Yeah, I think we're gonna push up. My target is the entire 5 minute. Let's see if I can get all of it. I have not taken a bullish position on the options because this is very dangerous. I'm sitting on 71 ticks right now. Oh, hold on, star, hold on, come on. 66.75. Can you? Oh, let me take something off the table because y'all toying with me. So I got one contract left. I'm gonna see if I can sweep the rest. There we go. Get into my target, and boom, 100 ticks. All right, let me go ahead and consider putting my stop right there. Oh, like as I'm trying, and that's why I didn't want to do it option contracts. It's so much easier to just move around on future contracts than anything else. So that was a solid move. Between what I did earlier today and now, let me grab PL. Of course, it's set on the wrong screen. I'm telling you, I'm going to file a nice little complaint. They always change up my screen. All right, that is right off 1200. And I do have a hard stop. So since we made money, I may end a little early. Let me just run through my red list a little bit for y'all along the way. Let's see. What do I have? Red list. Oh my God, UNH. I didn't think you would do something like oh, that must have been the accumulation phase. I was thinking, oh, just wait, Jeff, until they finally make a higher low on the daily. Look at that gap up going into freaking open enrollment. If you never played UNH, it's such a tricky beast. But when it moves, oh my God, it prints. But I didn't think they were going. I thought they were going to at least do one last. All right, hey, we're gonna flip this. This was the accumulation phase. Let's see the weekly. Yeah. Probably even the liquidation sweep, they just grabbed some cash and bang, just took off. Pan W. If you don't know who Pan W is, then that means you probably don't know who is Datadog. And the biggest Achilles heel for the space is CrowdStrike. So I would say look at those three when it's all said and done. CrowdStrike had to do a lot of damage control. I'm assuming investors are believing they have it under control and they're going to fill this fair value gap on this weekly and get back to normal situation. So there was probably a big old sweep. They're on it. Their earnings was solid and they do have earnings coming up. So wait for a pullback if you're going to invest into it, or wait for a pullback so that way you can find a nice little proper setup on it. But anyways, this whole entire space, it's cybersecurity. So looking at Pan W, this one pretty much I think owns the market cap now that CrowdStrike kind of pretty much dropped the ball. They have their earnings coming up on the 20th, so they're first. So I want to see what their earnings is going to be like. Then I'm going to look at what CrowdStrike's earnings is going to be like, And those two things are going to tell me a little bit more of the story of how they did their damage control, and if the space is bulletproof, um, and has a solid moat. That way they don't have to feel like they're going to lose a lot of revenue or whatever the case may be. So very, very interested on that one. And of course, Datadog. And then let me see. Let me give you out one more. Of course, pizza. This thing is still going for my $60. I still got my longer one there. Upstart, Costco. I don't know if the Costco can get to that $1,000. They've been trying. They've been trying. AMAT is still being annoying. I need this thing to do what it needs to do. HCA. Looks like people are moving away from HCA while they're moving into UNH. Very interesting. Very interesting. See how that goes. Actually, let me go into my other list. Let's go through my volume list. Let's grab that. Toss that over there. All right. Looks like Microsoft, Google. I don't like Comcast. I don't like trains, so not CSX. Oh, Coinbase. Huh. I have a story to tell y'all about Coinbase. So, Coinbase, this thing is making a massive move. So, yesterday, I was noticing something on I think it was the 5 minute. I think that's what it was on yesterday. And I realized that the 5 minute, I think it was roughly around here. And you know what? That's why information is key. Let me go to Tika because I posted it in the community under my spreads. Yeah. So this is what I kind of saw on the daily as the day went. And I was like, Debbie Vertical, I am thinking about 200, 202, or 210, 225 debit vertical. Oh, I should have said call vertical. I didn't put that in it. But anyways, you can tell by here. Stop loss is 184. Take profit is 202. That's what I was thinking. Damn you, Coinbase! This thing is at 2 freaking 25. I could only imagine what this contract is printing like. Let me grab an options chain so I can see. When you don't pull the trigger. Let me go ahead and minimize that. Minimize that. Coinbase. Let's see. I said 202. Let's go with the furthest one. 210, 212. That's the one I was really looking for November 8th. 210. Oh my God. Of course, it would have been capped to the spread, but if I just did not insure it, oh my God. That would have been an easy, I want to say, it cost me like 63 cents. It's a 2.5 spread. So that would have been an easy $200. Easy. A no-brainer. I just close my position, maybe even close the losing leg and just go, just run. Like it's just that. So Coinbase has a lot of volume, and it's probably them trying to cover their shorts. I think that's what's happening. So we're getting ourselves a nice little squeeze on that one. Shout out. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. I posted the doggone thing. Actually, you know what's the killer? So I posted in the other community, and my message in the other community was, typing this up, I might have missed the entry, and I had sent a couple of messages out to tag some people. So yeah, kind of shooting myself in the foot. I do that so often. I have an idea, I don't take it, and then the thing just does something epic. But again, what if that actually went the other way? I'll probably be looking at it. But again, I would have lost just $63. So risk $63 to make 200. It's still, I should have did it. Anyways, let's get back over to NQ. Let me give you some last tidbits here while I get ready for my reservation. Again, I did go ahead and play this back into the 5-minute fair value gap. It hit its target, then it liquidated. It looks like they're trying to use a second attempt at this. What I did on the future side was very dangerous for options. So I would say maybe wait for the close above, unless you're going to go ahead and catch one of these bottoms. That's probably your best bet. But either way, it still does look like it's going to be bullish. Probably get a nice little pickup, retake this wick, get into that 274, 220, 741, and then it starts to take off into here, because by then the bear's gonna be like, oh, we can't even stop him at the fair value gap. Might have to go ahead. But great bear trap, great liquidation sweep. If you were on the future side, you probably got a nice little good chunk of ticks on that. Go ahead, take a break, and then we will see you tomorrow at 9:15. Oh, and 9:15, I'll do something extra for y'all. Probably spill over a little bit to make up for today. But that said, y'all have a great day. See y'all tomorrow.